Hello, welcome back to another episode in a spiritual ascension, my own 5-year journey. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you guys and listening to my story, which is a long story if you've been following along, but there's going to be little tidbits for you to kind of take with you to kind of understand your own journey. Your journey is not going to be anything like mine, but there will be situations and things that may happen that are similar. So that's why I am telling my story. So when we left off, I had kind of ran out of money looking for a job, and I was able to get a temporary job at this. I want to call it without naming anything. Um, they made like documents, like printed documents, and I had to end up leaving where I was in Casco um, after 3 weeks. So now we're talking probably, when did I start there? Mid-June? It's now like mid-June. And the first night after leaving, where I had been staying at, I ended up sleeping in my car in a hotel parking lot near the airport. And when I got up the next day, of course, okay, I'm back here where kind of I started. I had a couple $100, but I didn't know how long that was going to last. And I was going, so this is Saturday morning, and I was going to be starting this temporary position that Thursday. So I still wouldn't get a paycheck till 2 weeks from then. So I kind of had to hold on to the money that I had for gas and also for food. Um, when I got up, I'm kind of like, oh no, like, what am I going to do as far as taking a shower, you know? Um, Before, when I was first coming up, I was had enough money to like alternate days of getting a hotel room and then, sleeping in the car. So I wasn't getting you know, too often. But now I was just in the car, and never expecting that this to fully happen. I knew I was going to eventually get somewhere, but now for it to actually be a semi-permanent situation until I could, start having income coming in. So I was seeing this as going to be kind of long term. I only had cash also. So I had no money in my accounts. And the thing came to mind to say, oh, I can go to a gym. And that's what a lot of people do that are homeless or living out of their cars or something on that, especially this time, if you're looking, following the news, people in these encampments, these tents, living in their camper, whatever it may be, they have gym memberships so that they can, spend their night in the car and then use the gym to shower, exercise, or whatever. And then usually, like, you go to like a Planet Fitness or something like that, it's super cheap. But I only had cash. So when I went to the gym to kind of sign up, they said you have to do it on the app, and the money comes from your account. And I only had cash. So I was like, I can't even do that. So what am I going to do now? When I was with, so I don't know if you guys been following along, and you remember there was a gentleman that I became really good friends with, um, who had kind of came and got me one time when I was staying with that family member, and his daughter had passed, and he asked me to take a ride with him down to North Carolina to kind of get her things, I think, out of her car that was kind of in a junkyard because she was in a car accident. And he was the one that told me about, because he was a truck driver. He told me, oh, they have showers in like these truck stops. I'm like, really? I never knew that. He goes, yeah, you just pay a certain amount and they give you, the combination or whatever. And you go in and you take a shower and change and everything. And that's what they do for truckers. I'm like, wow, I had no idea. So um, the 95 corridor is not too far off from where I was. I said, there's got to be like some kind of truck stop along 95 there that has showers. So, I'm Googling and not finding anything in Maine. There's like nothing in Maine. The closest shower facility was in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, where I had originated at. And I'm like, like it wasn't far, but I didn't want to go back to New Hampshire. But I needed a shower. Like I was, even though it had been now, I'm going to say that was Saturday. I probably stayed there Sunday. I'm not sure. But I said, okay, I think when I got up Sunday morning, I said, I need to head down, just get a shower. Sometimes, like, especially, I don't know, for me, in the summertime, there's been times I take 3 showers a day. If I'm like go out for a walk or go out to the store and you come back just sweaty, I just can't stand that feeling. So especially during the summer, like sometimes so I know sitting in the car and now I have to like sometimes walk and be among people. I didn't want that, you know. Anyway, TMI, TMI as they say. um, so that's the only thing I could think to do at this point. And I have really nothing better to do. I'm so sorry. Let me turn this off. Um, I have nothing better to do, so I said, let me go ride down there and get a shower. So when I got up on Sunday morning, I drove down to Portsmouth and went to this truck stop and got a shower. And I was like that. It was like so convenient. I think it cost $18, which was a lot, but especially for the money that I had too. And it was like a big chunk, but it was so worth it. So I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like I can't spend $18 for a shower like every other day. And I had this job coming up later that week that I had to be in Portland. So I didn't know how I was going to maneuver all this. I think Sunday night, I tried to, since it was a truck stop, like I figured like a rest area, I tried to sleep in my car there, but there was too much activity going on and there wasn't really a lot of cars. There was a lot of trucks with like truck drivers sleeping in their trucks and stuff, but not a lot of cars like in the parking lot or people like staying in their cars. So I kind of felt a little weird. And I drove into Portsmouth and tried to find like a parking lot or something like that. Oh, actually, I rode around like the hotels trying to find like a parking spot to park in. And I couldn't find a space that was like good and like, what do you call it? Had covering, like the cars on the sides and not a lot of people like around. And I went to a couple different hotels and none of them seemed to, it was like the weirdest thing. Whereas before I was finding places and here I couldn't find anywhere. I ended up in a commuter's parking lot and which was really no one around, but you never know when. people would get off of, the transportation and then people would come towards the cars. But I tried to bed, again, lay down my pillows, and that seemed to work out for a couple hours. I got a couple hours sleep. The next day was Monday, and not knowing what to do, um, kind of just lost. Like, because my biggest concern was, all right, if I'm going to do this thing of kind of sleeping in the car until, I have enough money to find another place to stay at, how am I going to take a shower? And I would have to wait at least 2 weeks until like money went into my account, and therefore I could get a gym membership. So I said, I can't, for 2 weeks, I can't go without taking a shower up in Portland. So I kind of just, that Monday, I kind of stayed around the Portsmouth area. I think I went to a library or something like that. I had just taken a shower that Monday morning, I remember, and I didn't realize how hot it was going to be. And when I end up parking at a distance from the library, because I didn't know how the parking was, sometimes Portsmouth parking could be kind of tight, especially during the holiday seasons and stuff like that. And I made a mistake of parking far away and to try to get free parking. And I got so sweaty right after taking my shower. And I was like, "Oh, like, why did you do that? If you paid $18 to take a shower, and now like I'm all sweaty again." And I had to walk back again. And the sun was like beating down on me. I'm trying to think of where I ended up staying. I don't know, Monday night. But anyway, I was sitting in the car on Monday, and something came to me. And it's like I needed to go pick up my mail. I shouldn't say pick up. I needed to retrieve somehow my mail that was still in New York that the landlord was holding for me. So when I left there, I said, there may be some mail coming in. My title was supposed to come in for my car, and I didn't want her to have to send it to me, like go to the post office and put it in the package and everything like that. And, she had done enough as far as holding the mail for me and stuff. So something came to me because she kept texting me and said, you have this mail here. So I said, something came to me and said, you know what? You need to drive back down to New York, retrieve the mail, and see what. And then I was so kind of trying to figure out, like, what's going on here? Like, all of a sudden, like, I don't have a place to live anymore. I have a job, but I don't have a place to live. Am I supposed to be here? Like, I started questioning, like, am I even supposed to be here? Am I supposed to be back in New York? I don't know. So I said, what I'm going to do is I'll stay here another night in the car Monday. When I get up on Tuesday morning, I'll get up early and I'm going to drive that down to New York City and retrieve that mail from her. Now, that's probably about if you go straight through, I'm going to say maybe a 6 hour drive. Um, I was trying to avoid tolls. I have to pay tolls and things. And so I figured if I take kind of like the side highways more so, avoid tolls at all costs, it might be better for me. So I think I end up leaving maybe like 8 o'clock in the morning, Tuesday morning. And Um, I didn't end up getting there, and I stopped for not too many times. I wanted to get her a little gift, so I stopped, I don't know, like at a TJ Maxx or something like that. Got us like a small candle that cost maybe $5 for her, holding my mail. I didn't want to just go there without anything in a card. And when I got to New York City, never thought I was going to see the city again. Never ever thought I was going to go back. I was so done with the city. And it was so weird, from a distance, you can see, the skyscrapers and things. And saying kind of, I can't believe I'm back here. So it took me a long time to through this traffic because kind of went by the time I got there, traffic was starting. And to get actually into Queens, I didn't get there probably till about 4 o'clock. So it took me about 8 hours to get from Portsmouth, New Hampshire to Queens, where I used to live. And she had left it in the side door for me, and I put the candle there and got my mail. And I ended up going, I think I needed something from Target or something like that. I went to shopping center where there was a Target. And I really didn't, I was trying to avoid rush hour during that time because now we're talking it's like 4:35 and there's a lot of traffic around. So I was trying to say, well, let me wait until the traffic dies down and then I'll venture out again, maybe around 7 or so. I'm going to leave it there because I don't like to make these too long for you. And I'll see you in the next one. Okay.